Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump into a new, maybe a mini campaign, certainly a new scenario, the 104th scenario for Oscar Rios. I don't, what have you written? Like 10 scenarios for the podcast already? It's
I've
ridiculous.
probably written close to 10 scenarios just for the Britannia game,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
including anything. But yeah, who's counting? It's been a long pandemic. Keeps me off the streets, which these days keeps you alive.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we certainly appreciate, and we hope that the I was going to say the viewers, but mostly the listeners are super into that. So we're getting ready to jump into this. It's called "To Put Away Childish Things." I'm going to kick it over to Oscar to let him give us a little bit of a description, and then we'll say who we're playing, and we'll jump into it.
Okay. So, to be fair, I did not write this for Legends of Tabletop. I've been meaning to. This has been on my eventually list for over a decade. My eventually list is a really good idea that I don't feel I'm skilled enough to write. So I just put it on that list until I feel confident enough in my ability as a writer to write. There have been a lot of these scenarios. The Hopeful was on that list. Innsmouth Independence Day was on that list. Hold on. A Family Way was on that list. So eventually they come out, and so this is To Put Away Childish Things was one of the last on my. I've got to write that eventually. And what all of those great scenarios have in common is that my dear friend and editor Lisa Paddle was a playtester for all of those scenarios. So I asked her to join us for this one because I couldn't feel right about running one of off my eventually list without her here. She's been part of. We've been together a long time. Okay, so um, the story starts in early March, in the city of Manhattan, in the middle, to late 1920s. Specific year is not important at this point, and it will start with a woman coming into the office of a private detective looking to hire a team. Now, Detective Harry Stanton got a bit of a line on this client because recently, in the last few days, she's become a minor celebrity. And because of that, he thinks there may well be a mythos or a cult aspect to her visit. He's not really sure why she's coming in, but she has been in the news recently. So we're going to say that he has summoned a team of stalwart companions who've helped him in this sort of case before. Now, she's due in at like 9 a.m. She's due first thing in the morning. She called you like yesterday at 3. So the team has had a few hours to possibly work up some background, or just struggle to everyone get to your office at 9 a.m. I think Vivian, you're where's your character located physically?
In New York.
You are a New Yorker.
Yeah.
All right, and we've already, Millie is living on Long Island in Port Jefferson, and the other two are native New Yorkers. Okay, that's fine. So, you're waiting for her to arrive, and her name is. And again, it's a play test, so I'm getting used to the scenario myself. So if I pause every now and again, please forgive me.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Alice
No,
O'Shea.
you won't.
Her name is Alice O'Shea.
Okay.
Now, everyone can make a no roll. And tell me if you get a hard success.
No. It's passed. but-
No.
I'm very embarrassed right now, but I'm so used to looking at another type of sheet that I have no idea where no is right now.
It's in.
It's your INT score.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Vivian has just been resurrected from 6th edition to 7th edition stats, and I think Millie has as well.
I felt
So, Millie,
You're muted.
no one makes the roll. Okay, that's fine. We can find out. So none of you have heard of Alice O'Shea. All you know is that she's recently been. And Harry, you called the rest of them there because you read something in the paper. You don't really recall the full details of the story. She's recently been in an accident that has a lot of conflicting. That seems quite outlandish. So you'll definitely have questions when she arrives.
If there was an accident that got that much press, there are probably records.
If you want to get into Manhattan early, Millie, you can possibly do some research at local newsstands, make a library use roll to see if you can pick something up before. Harry basically said she's been in the story, some kind of an accident. She's been in the papers, some kind of an accident. I don't have all the details. I'm sure we'll get her full story when she comes in.
Regular success on the library use.
Okay, you show up to the Harry's office with a copy of the New York Herald from March 2nd. I believe we're going to say that today is March 4th. And John, you can open email 1 and share that with the others. So everyone can read that. So our players and the audience at home can read that at home. And again, if there are typos, don't say anything to me. We'll talk about it later. This is first draft. I've spent most of my last week up pre-dawn working on the scenario. So,
Chrome tab. This one. All right. Hopefully, this is going to be big enough for everybody to see it. I can. Let's see. We can zoom in on. Oh, I just removed it. That's stupid. Hold on. Let me add that back, and I want to zoom in on this. Full screen layout.
all right. So one of you can read it, or if you want, I can read it, or you can just read it.
Okay. Rising movie starlet narrowly escapes murderous attack. The theater district was the scene of a horrific attack today, as an apparently deranged man grabbed a young actress and hurled them both into the path of an oncoming bus. The man, identified as Rudolph Spopenheimer, apparently chose the woman at random. He had recently wandered away from Lenox Hill Hospital. After being injured by falling bricks at a construction site where he worked at the time as a crane operator. The woman, Alice O'Shea, age 23, is a star of both stage and screen, performing in Broadway shows such as Love for Love, Easy Street, and Out of 7C, and the upcoming Paramount picture Flowers of the Night. Tragically, Rudolf Sputtenheimer lost his life in the attack, but miraculously, Alice O'Shea escaped with a broken arm and various cuts and bruises. The driver, Fred Whelan, has spotless record and did his best to avoid the pair, and his quick reflexes likely saved the young actress's life. The incident has been ruled an accident.
That.
Nice delivery.
This is why I
We're done.
Okay, so you guys can discuss. She's running a little late.
Okay, when they get there, I'm probably sleeping on my couch. Little, short little love seat, legs hanging over the side. So when they come in, then he's making coffee.
So can we say that your office is actually your office and residence? Do you have a few rooms behind the main, like the front room and the bathroom are like the office, and then there's 3 rooms in back where it's your bedroom and kitchenette?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was hoping it was just going to be one, like a studio. So it's he has like a Murphy bed that he folds down.
No. If he was that bargain basement, she'd be going to someone better. I'm kind of feeling he's at least middle of the road successful.
All right.
I'm almost maxed out for PI for credit rating. I'm at 25.
All right, so he's a really good he's actually probably high end. So, are you high end enough to have a secretary?
Yes, but she works part-time.
Okay.
When I'm doing good,
and we're going to say for this, she's attending her sister's wedding in Vermont.
Yep. It's been a little slow recently.
And you're like, why would she get married in March? And there are rumors that they had to get married.
Uh-oh. I can investigate that if somebody really wants me to.
She doesn't.
I mean, I'm sure you get a bargain on the hall at that time of
You
year.
do save a lot of money for these
Really?
off-season weddings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're going with. Okay, so does the group want to discuss any of this before Alice arrives?
So I'm not in construction, but if you're operating the crane, how do you get hit in the head by bricks?
Well, they could have fallen out of the basket. I don't know where he was working at. I mean, it doesn't say in the article. She wasn't very clear. She did, mention she wanted us to look into something. I don't know. I guess she's going to tell us more when she comes in.
All
She
right.
seemed pretty shaken up.
You get a knock at the door.
Oh, excuse me. He walks over, opens up the door.
You see a woman. She is probably about 5'1". She's this tiny thing with very, short, very curly, tight curls, lovely little hat, lovely little fashionable dress. And when you see her, you can again roll your no roll.
Oh, that one's going to do it. 12 out of 70. It's extreme.
You recognize her from a couple of low budget films from Paramount. She's usually typecast as the squeaky voice best friend of the lead actress. But you've seen her. She's one of these character actresses. And that's like, okay, now it sparks your mind. So she's not a big star, but she's transitioning from Broadway to the Kaufman Studios in Astoria. And what I love about this period is Paramount filmed a lot of movies in Astoria, Queens, in the Kaufman Studios. So New York was, like Hollywood before Hollywood. Hollywood is little. At this point, Hollywood and Astoria, Queens are still kind of, both out there. in this period. So I always found that, that always tickled me. So
I start to like say like, oh, I've seen your pictures, but then he stops himself, right?
okay.
He doesn't want to
So
seem
she
like
says, Mr. Stanton.
yes, Miss O'Shea.
This is, thank you.
How
She's
are you
just standing
feeling?
at your
Are
door.
you okay?
You shuffle her, you usher her in.
I
You see
like,
that
put an
she's
arm
got
around her.
she's got the it's the 1920s, so she's got the full plaster cast in a sling. You can see that the makeup is pretty heavy. And you've seen enough unfortunate like domestic violence cases to know that she's hiding bruises. But she's walking with like very ginger steps, so you can tell that she's still feeling the effects of literally being hit by a bus.
Yeah.
So she comes in and sits down, and she goes, "Oh, you've got a whole team gathered here. They all work for you, Mr. Stanton?"
In a manner of speaking, yes. We've worked together before on various other cases.
She looks over and says, "Hi, everyone. I'm Alice O'Shea. Thanks for coming." And she like kind of sits gingerly, and you see she grits her teeth as she eases into the chair.
He's helping her
Millie's
the
going to
whole way.
try and help her to sit because she's a nurse and knows how to make her a little more comfy.
Okay, she thanks you.
You've had a bit of a rough time, it seems. What exactly brings you to the office?
I need you to find someone. I
The
think they
first
may
time?
be in trouble.
Oh, what's wrong?
She says, "Well, on top of everything that's happened this week, my fiance, she takes a deep breath. While I was in the hospital, he broke off our engagement, and he said that he'd found someone else, someone better, and he said a lot of horrible things, and it's completely unlike him. It's absolutely not like him. Usually Melvin is the gentlest, kindest person, wouldn't hurt a fly, let alone say the things he said to me and his roommate. Apparently, there's got to be something going on, something wrong. I'm terribly worried about him. Usually he'd be the first person at my side to helping me through something like this, but I'm not really sure what's happened."
Harry's eyes flick over to the two women because, as we all know, this is not uncommon, and that men are that way. And a lot of the times when he's investigating, like, this is exactly the thing. It's just like, "Yep, I don't care, and I'm going to leave." So he kind of looks to them to maybe try to reassure.
She says, I don't know what it is. I don't know if the hospital freaked him out. I know that he had polio as a child, and he spent a lot of time in hospitals when he was little. But I don't know. I really, it's like it was a whole, they say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Not quite like that, but I just couldn't believe what was coming out of his mouth, and that he would leave me in at all. We've been inseparable for about 8 months. We've been engaged for 3 of those.
You said something about his roommate?
Yes, apparently after he broke up with me, he picked a fight with his roommate, packed up his things, and from what Frank's telling me, that even got physical. And like I said, he's not the type. He's just not the type.
Did you?
Him and Frank have been They've been thick as thieves for 8 years since he first came to New York.
Had there been any indication of any trouble prior to this? Any fights? Any unkind words? Anything that would...
No, nothing like that. He was, we're both doing well professionally. We're both moving up. I'm getting better parts. He's starting to, there was talk of the Paramount bringing him over full time from the theater. He's a set designer.
Yes, my next question.
Yes, he designs sets for the theater. He's been moving over to design sets for the studio.
Imagine it's a good gig if you can get it.
Oh, he's one of the best. Very, very hardworking, very dedicated, beautiful eye. Easy to work with. That's why I don't understand what's going on. Why would he leave? Everything. I mean, sure, fellas lose interest. I get it. I'm not the prettiest girl in all of New York. I get it, but why would he up and leave his job? This is something that he's been, chasing after since he came to New York.
Wait, he also quit his job?
He's gone. He hasn't showed up for work. Not in 2 days.
When he left, did he say if he was going
That's
anywhere?
why he just said he was taking off. Don't try and find him.
And he
Said I should have some. She starts to cry. Said I should have some fucking pride in myself and not come looking for him.
Do we know if he had any like gambling issues or anything like that?
I'm hoping you guys can tell me. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I mean, he worked and we hung out and we went to dinner once a week, and I don't know where he'd find time to gamble. He never talked about betting the ponies or playing the numbers.
Nah, he never ever, every once in a while kind of showed up with an extra present for you, anything like that.
Well, yeah, on my birthday and we had a good time on Valentine's Day, but nothing odd.
When he took you out, was it always the same restaurant?
No, I'd usually pick some place we heard about from other girls in the troupe.
Does he have family in New York?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have much family. I think he might have mentioned a couple times that both his parents are dead. They've been dead since he was a kid.
No brothers or sisters?
No, nothing like that. No real close family either. He was an orphan.
Oh, an orphan in New York?
No, he's from Massachusetts. Somewhere up near Boston.
Near Boston.
That's what he told me.
What?
Doesn't really talk about his childhood much.
Was he in a troupe in Boston, or did he eventually travel down to New York?
He did a lot of community theater, which is where he kind of got his start with set designing, and caught the eye of a few producers, and they brought him down to some small theaters.
You've got a picture of him?
Sure thing. And she produces one. I see you smiling, John, but this is the way we really talk in New York when we're not trying to cover up the accent. I'm just leaning into it.
I was gonna go full Vinny, but I decided against it. It's just too jarring.
I'm allowed to do that because I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens. So this is my New York. This is pretty much our New York accent when we lean into it. So we're allowed. Unless you're Italian American, don't do the act. Don't do the the Italian American gangster accent. It's I can do the New York accent. Oh, it's so funny. I've got my daughter was in what's that one? Newsies, the musical Newsies. And she had speaking parts, and she was one of the only kids that sounded like a New York street punk. And she said, "I was just leaning into the accent And when she talked, it was like, oh my God, you could hear like the New York news. And I'm like, because that's our accent.
Yeah. When she produces the picture, does he look familiar? Somebody maybe we would have seen around town, like maybe.
Yeah. Social circles.
He's a set designer and he's young and he's hardworking. So he's not the kind of guy who's social.
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not at parties or, if he's, he's involved in the theater and he's, he's part of that world, but he's not the guy, walking through the front door. He's in the cast party. He's more of the stagehands kind of, like he'll be there with like talking to the director, talking to the producer, not with the stars and being reviewed. Although because he's so good at it, he's probably known in the industry and the trades. But he's not anyone you guys would have seen around.
No.
He's looks like, 26, 27, tall-ish. So they probably make a cute couple because she's 5'1" and he's probably 5'11". Yeah. And
She's still 2 inches taller than I am.
Aww.
And like in the picture, they're together, and he's got one arm around her shoulder, and the other he's carrying a walking stick, but he's leaning on the walking stick, and one knee is kind of cockeyed.
Okay. He says we'll need the address for his roommate. We'll want to talk to Frank as well.
Right, Frank Casey. They're over at the Monroe. It's it's an apartment building in right outside the theater district.
Is the cane because of the polio?
Yes, he's weak on that side. On that whole side. He works on the arm on that side gets numb towards the end of the day, but don't slow him down. He's said it took him years to learn how to walk proper. She says, I don't have much money, but I can meet your usual rate and supplement that with theater tickets. I get a few free ones every show.
Yeah, I enjoy going to the theater every now and again.
I'd be delighted. Thank you.
She says it'll be a bit before I can get back to work, so you might have to wait for those tickets. But I didn't want to wait. I just came here right from the hospital. They just released me this morning.
Oh, goodness.
I figured best find them before the trail gets too cold.
No, I get that, but you do need to rest now that you've told us what you can.
Well, I'm going to go home right after this. I just wanted to get you guys started.
One last thing before you go. Did anyone else visit you in the hospital?
Oh, sure. Lots of my theater friends and my manager, a couple of one of our producers, someone from Paramount sent me a lovely bouquet.
Thank you.
I wasn't much for company after what happened with Melvin.
And the man, I'm sorry to bring this up, but the man who attacked you, did he say anything when he grabbed you?
I don't even remember the man. I don't remember. I was standing on the sidewalk, worrying about the bus splashing me, so I took a step back. I smelled flowers, and then I was sailing forward. Next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance.
Okay, unrelated, but
Well, who is it that reported the man then?
You're asking her, or is that just?
No, her.
She said, like I said, I never seen him. I just felt someone grab me and push us both forward into the. I didn't even see the bus when it hit me. I just it's all a blur. But he didn't survive, so he was there when the cops came. What was left of him.
Were you planning on taking the bus somewhere?
No, I was just waiting across the street.
Okay.
Um,
My
everybody
questions?
roll a spot hidden. Roll a spot hidden. Just to notice something.
I put some points into that.
Made
That's
it
a
exactly.
17 out of 30.
She's
Hard
kind of like
success.
vibrating. She's kind of like bouncing one of her legs on her knee, and she's clenching the side of the chair. So you're pretty sure her meds are wearing off.
I
If
Like
we
she's
don't have
starting
any
to-
more questions, I think she should get some rest.
Thanks. She goes, I hate to ask, but could someone help me downstairs to get me into a cab?
of course.
Yeah.
And,
Before he's like
She
he's
gives you
probably
she gives you three $20 bills for your retainer.
okay.
She goes, keep looking until this runs out, and then give me a call, and if you need more.
Yeah, no, definitely. He opens up the desk drawer and pulls out the bottle of whiskey. He says, little medicine to help smooth you out a little bit.
I wouldn't say no to a nip right now. It's been a day.
Then helps her up, helps her down this, puts an arm around her, like takes her weight, lets her, take the glass, and then he'll just bring it back up.
Okay. So she takes the drink, you help her down into the cab, you hail one, and she's off. You've got her number, if you need to get in touch with her. She's got home, she's got someone looking after her.
Okay. Comes back in.
She says, my cousin's coming down from the Bronx to stay with me for a week or so.
Oh, good. So you don't want to have to deal with that on your own.
No, not with a broken wing. I don't even know how I'm gonna. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do a lot of things. Look, he's a good fella. I don't know what's going on with him, but you got to save him from himself. He's I don't care if he doesn't want to be with me. I get it, but he's thrown away his whole life. Who does that?
Sometimes a man gets a strange thing in his head, and it sets him all sideways.
And let him know if and when you find him. I'm not holding anything what he said against him. It's all water under the bridge. I don't even need an explanation. Anyway, she says, well, I'm going to go. And she gets in the cab and takes off.
Okay.
I'll turn to Harry and say, she's a lot more forgiving than I am, that's for sure.
He gets in, he pours another drink. Actually, probably pours it into his coffee. Says,
I was gonna say, you didn't mention it, but I was kind of hoping somebody would say coffee just so I could do the New York accent with coffee.
Yeah.
Like, do you want a cup? I wouldn't mind a cup of coffee, but nobody, because I figured I wanted to lean in and say, do you have a pot of coffee in the office to offer?
Yeah, he would. I think I said I had put one on when they came in, but
all right.
Yeah, you did.
Is that like the New York equivalent of parking the car in Harvard Yard?
Yeah.
International coffee.
I'm gonna go down for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
All right. So, and don't worry, we may get a chance to use that Massachusetts accent before too long. Okay. So
I don't have one, so
back up in the office of what are we calling it? The Stanton Detective Agency? Stanton Investigations? What is the name
Stanton
of your office?
Investigations. I like that.
Okay. Stanton Investigations. I like that too. All right, you're off, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it could be that he got lots of traumatic memories of the polio, but I don't think that's the way to bet.
It might have scared him away from the hospital. Maybe he didn't want to go see her, but I don't think it would cause him to say what he said.
Mm.
I mean, plus he basically said adios to his fiance and to his job and to everything. So
Yeah, he broke relationship with his roommate as well.
right.
Yeah.
It's almost like he
Yeah.
burned everything and left.
Yeah.
Could be another dame got her hooks into him, but seems like an awful lot to leave everything.
Especially if he's been working so hard for that job.
And if she's moving up, if he hitches his wagon to her, I mean, it's a good deal for him. No offense.
No. It's just it doesn't add up that something's off.
Mm-hmm. It's not like her career's completely done.
Kind of the
She's in a
opposite.
cast. Yeah, exactly. I could see someone leaving if she was injured severely and couldn't pursue her career, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, what I'd expect is more flat and cold, not belligerent.
Mm-hmm. And she did say she mentioned something about Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
So I imagine he was not like that before this.
Well, if something didn't change inside of him one way or another, he could be trying to protect her from something that reared its ugly head.
Mm.
Or,
Could have something to do with the accident.
She didn't see the person who pushed her, which, again, these things happen. You get a lot of... I mean, most people involved in an accident either remember every detail or really don't remember it at all. So that's not surprising. But if we can find the driver, might want to see if he saw this other person or something.
Did anybody else catch? She mentioned that she smelled flowers right beforehand.
I'd forgotten that.
I did. I thought maybe it was by a newsstand with flowers.
It's March. It's a little early, but not that early.
I'm not necessarily aware of the times. How popular or are often used as like cologne and things like that.
This is the golden age of cosmetics. So
okay.
this is when most makeup became really popular in the States with the rise of the flapper era and the working woman. So it's becoming way more common. Things like perfume and deodorant and powders and foundation and lipstick and all of that.
Well, so would it be like an in check just to see like are flowers being sold at this time of the year common on the street, or would that?
Well, I mean, we can check out the area.
Summer?
We can check out the newsstand. I mean, it's been 2 days. It's not like they're going to be out of flowers all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like in a general sense, of someone in the world, would that be something that?
It's early March, so it's early March. There's been recent snows, so it's cold, it's slushy. Spring has not yet started. This is the tail end of winter. So if she's smelling flowers, these are not flowers growing on anything. These are
right. Yep. Okay. If his demeanor changed as much as all that, could be he got maybe hooked up on that smack too. I mean, those celebrity types, they get into a lot of different things.
But he's not a celebrity. He's a set designer.
Well, but he moves in those circles, right? I mean, then he had the polio, so if he's got a lot of pain, I'm just saying, most times when stuff happens to people, it's because they made choices to do things, or maybe sometimes bad things just happen. But when
I'm not ruling anything out at this stage. It could be.
I just putting it on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're all here too, you know, we always can't roll out anything like possessions or anything like that too.
I know. If it's a weird one, that's the obvious. The other obvious is somebody's made some kind of threat and he's trying to protect his roommate. I mean, that would be more likely to be like the mob or something, in which case...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Distance yourself from the loved ones so they don't get caught up in the maelstrom of the aftermath. Yep.
I mean, still though, I mean, it could be. It's just, if you're a mobster and somebody like him is a rising star attached to another rising star, you probably don't want to scare him too. I mean, on the other hand, mobsters tend to have terrible tempers, so...
Well, I mean, it could be, you know, he maybe cut a deal with the mob or some other kind of syndicate, you know, because kind of banking on her fame. And with the accident, things kind of go downhill, and maybe he has some debts to pay off that he's not sure he can do now.
Thought he'd have a little more time. Yeah.
He's also not from around here.
That's true.
So I imagine that hospital he's been to wouldn't look like a New York one, would it? I don't know how developed.
About the same.
Well, he's outside of Boston. I think that's what she said. He was outside of Boston, whereas he came from.
So you're thinking a little country place then?
I don't know the area that well, but he's not from around here, and doesn't have family either.
So we want to talk to the roommate, the bus driver, maybe the doctors at the hospital who saw her, and the co-workers, and then probably... I mean, that's 4 paths. There's 4 of us.
Well,
I'll take the hospital.
We may want to go out to the Lennox too to see that guy where he escaped from. Maybe something.
Good point.
Up there. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying it may be completely unrelated. But
well, there are 4 of you.
I was gonna say 4 places, 4 people.
You know, I prefer you if you're gonna look at 2 things at the same time. Things that, you know, if you're gonna break up, I'd like you to go in pairs.
Okay, we can do that.
Just so you've got a good amount of skill distribution. And that way 3 people aren't sitting waiting for the scene to be over instead of 2.
Yeah, that's fine. So, like meta, then who's like I have good persuade. If we're gonna talk to people, it's probably a good spot hidden, good psychology.
Decent.
I have a decent intimidate.
I'm not much of a talker.
I'm more of a researcher, but I do know hospitals.
She is a nurse.
I've got intimidate. I've got brawl. Let's do that too.
I'm thinking we should probably not go together then.
I think it's going to be boy, girl, boy, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can take care of myself a little. I've got a decent brawl score, and I got a handgun. I mean, officially I don't got a handgun, but I got a handgun.
As I'm looking at the sheet, and I downloaded the one from Chaosium's site, and I don't see insight on this sheet. It goes from intimidate to jump.
Oh yeah,
Insight psychology.
Insight is psychology.
Oh, psychology.
It's only
okay.
you've been playing Cthulhu Invictus too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got decent psychology then, so I've got decent insight.
Interestingly, I just have base psychology as far as I can tell.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay, so who wants to do what?
So I'm assuming Millie probably wants to go to the hospital.
Hospital and asylum should be me, yeah.
I don't mind the roommate and the coworkers. Or the driver.
What do you want to do then, Jesse?
I'm fine with it. I'm figuring I'm probably just going to be like a stern eye and some muscle for whoever we go with.
So you want to do the roommate then? That probably seems less useful in the hospital.
Sure.
Okay, so it's Georgie and Vivian heading over to the Monroe Apartments, and Stanton. Do you want to be Stanton or Harry?
Harry.
Harry and Millie going to Lenox Hill Hospital, or did you want to talk to the track down the bus driver?
I assumed asylum and hospital.
Where did the asylum come in?
So the guy escaped from the Lenox.
The guy who
according
escaped
to
from the Lenox.
Right. That's a hospital. It's not an asylum.
It's just a straight hospital. Okay. I just presumed that it was.
Sorry, I assumed it was an institution too. Sorry.
He was a deranged man after all.
Yeah, and the terminology was escaped, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does say Lenox Hill Hospital, but hospital could be colloquial. Whatever, it's fine.
Everyone roll a no roll.
All right.
This is just to see if you remember something.
Nope. I'm a goldfish.
Yes, hard success. 33
There
under
was
70.
there was some kind of story, like a page 3 story involving Lenox Hill.
Really?
About a week ago.
Oh, wow.
So I start because there's shit all over the office. He starts going through all the papers.
Make a luck roll and give me a hard success.
All right. What is my luck? 65.
Georgie just uses the newspaper to wrap up his meat.
It's 47 under 65, so success, but not hard.
Okay, you don't have that. You read it at a diner. You saw the story in a paper in the diner. It was like one of the diner copies that somebody had left there, so you didn't bring it back.
Yep.
After you finished the crossword, you lost interest and you just left it there. But you definitely remember seeing a story about Lenox Hill from about a week ago in the paper.
I can't find it. I thought I had the paper here, but there was a story about the Lenox in the paper I saw the other day.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was something.
I know. I had a hard success. I remember it too.
Damn it! If I could just remember what it was.
All right, hard success, Vivian. It was specifically about Lenox Hill Hospital.
It was specifically about Lenox Hill Hospital.
Which I misspelled in the handout. Okay.
Don't say anything about it.
When I happen to have the article in one of my papers inside my bag.
Not from a week ago. I see Vivian as a little clutch, not the giant.
No, I'm scatterbrained.
We called newspapers in her big giant bag.
I'm scatterbrained. I need like a million things in my bag.
This will take a library use roll to track down at the library the story from a week ago, or a hard luck success at a newsstand that might not have gotten rid of their papers from a week ago.
I like my odds better in a library.
We can stop on the way to the hospital.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do that. You guys are gonna break here. Break like 2 teams. So Harry and Millie, you're heading over to the library before the hospital. You're gonna make that library use roll.
Okay.
25 out of considerably more than 25. That's a hard success, I think.
All right. It's you go in, you find the stack of papers, you find the story, and you can open email too.
Oh, more handouts.
Man, I miss handouts. You don't really have handouts in ancient Rome.
Right.
because paper's so expensive.
We have maps.
Right.
Chrome tab number 2, share. Boom. There we go.
increased magnification 33 to 47.
So if you go to, let's see, let me see if I can't. Let's do that.
Okay, that
Sure.
is weird and disturbing.
All right, why don't you read this one then?
Body snatchers at Lenox Hill. A comatose man, one Rudolf Sponheimer, went missing from Lenox Hill Hospital in the pre-dawn hours today in what authorities are calling a kidnapping. While there were no witnesses to this abduction, Mr. Sponheimer was completely immobile due to his condition and not expected to recover due to his extensive injuries. Sponheimer, aged 34, was injured at a job site where he worked as a crane operator when he was struck by falling debris in a freak accident. Rudolf Sponheimer requires constant medical care due to his condition, so his safe recovery is a race against time. Police have no suspects or possible motive for this abduction and are asking that anyone with information regarding this incident please come forward. So she was pushed in front of a bus by a comatose man who couldn't move in the first place, who might have been kidnapped. This is making less and less sense.
Welcome to Call of Cthulhu.
For me, this is what we call Tuesday.
Yeah. Like, oh, now I know why we're here.
Yeah. Like he points it like at the date. It's like that's how is that possible?
Yeah.
That's February 23rd. He got hit.
That's a week ago, yeah.
I mean that's
almost
not right.
2 weeks.
Yeah, today's March 4th.
4th. Yeah.
Yeah, 27th to the 28th, that's 5. Yeah, it's 10 days basically.
Huh.
Well, that explains why they didn't expect him to wander off.
That's well, that is an unexpected wrinkle.
Yeah, I think we want to start at Lenox Hill.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's take this down.
Yep.
Okay, so meanwhile at Lenox Hill. All right, so you head over to Lenox Hill. Millie, you immediately notice that the security guards are on edge. And that, and as you come into like the waiting room area, are you going into like the main waiting room, the main entrance? Everybody's being, checked, and you're not letting anybody up out of the lobby without checking, and they're almost harassing people like, I'm just going up to see my wife, and like, what room? Like they're stopping people a little bit more than would be normal.
Harry flashes
that's normal.
Yeah, he flashes his PI ID, I guess, for what it's worth, as they approach the desk, and then gestures to Millie.
Okay, roll your credit rating. That might work.
My credit rating is 25.
No, he's flashing his PI ID. So he's trying to use his status as a private investigator.
I rolled an 81.
They were like, okay, what of it?
Oh, we had some questions. I'm working on a case. Seems that the man who disappeared is maybe tangentially involved in whatever it is that's currently happening.
This is a hospital. It ain't a school. You should best take your questions elsewhere, pal.
Who would we ask? I'm a nurse. The thing is, he was supposedly pushing someone in front of a bus, and that doesn't seem likely because it said he was comatose in the papers.
larger security guy comes over and says, we're not giving out statements at this time, not to private investigators or the newspapers. So unless you have hospital business here, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Do I in fact have hospital business?
Do you want to lie and say that you have hospital business with a fast talk? Or do you want to try and talk your way past this guy? But they are not looking kindly to
I can try to persuade.
Okay, you can
try.
So,
but you have to understand they've just been, it's one of two things. They let a comatose patient walk out, or they let a comatose patient be kidnapped.
Yeah.
So security is heightened and the staff is a little twitchy right now.
So
they're definitely under the microscope.
They're actually doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right. He leans in a little bit closer to the big guy and he like puts up his hands, placatingly, and he says, "Look, I read the paper in the story. I know it seems crazy. Look, I talked to my buddy George downtown at Precinct 12. Look, if we can help you out with this, like I said, it might be related to what's going on with my thing, but maybe if you help me, I can help you."
That's going to be fast talk because you didn't talk to anybody down at the station. You actually lied. So
damn it. I could talk to whoever's name I just made up. 92/5.
I think part of it is Millie gives the game away by staring at you going, "What the?"
All right, Millie, we're going to say I need you to make a luck check.
I rolled 100.
All right, you guys are tossed out.
Lisa, you fit right in.
So
I rolled 100.
So talking to anybody through the main lobby is now done. There are other ways into the hospital. There's the emergency ward. There's the staff entrance. But you guys are not getting access to the hospital from the main lobby.
So as they get thrown out, kind of like stumbles a few steps and like pulls his jacket out, which is already rumpled because he was sleeping on the couch. He says,
"Yeah, I don't think they're going to talk to us."
No, it doesn't seem like. But he got hurt. Did he get hurt here?
No, he got hurt on the construction site.
I mean, we could go over there and see if we can find out maybe what happened. Let things cool down a little bit here. Maybe. Do you know anybody in the hospital? Maybe we could. Maybe if you'd make a phone call, they could meet us in the back entrance.
Given that my luck roll was 100, I'm going to say no.
That's what the luck roll was about. She knows no one at Lennox Hill.
That seems like a really oddly specific thing to say, but all right, we'll go with that. I don't know if they could have told us anything anyway, right? I mean, might not be all lost. I mean, what are they going to say? The guy disappeared.
I mean, I would have liked to get a sniff of wherever he was, see if I can pick up flowers.
Oh,
dude, there, like I said, there are other ways into the hospital if you want to get another try.
Did I mention stealth is not my thing?
I'm just saying there are different people you could talk to. Like the main entrance, they've shut you down, but there is staff in the, in the emergency room, and All right. While you guys think about this, I'm going to go to the Monroe. While the team Lennox Hill regroups after the 98 and 100.
Oh man.
That went pear-shaped. So while you guys regroup, we're going to go to the Monroe Apartments. Okay. Do you remember the name of the roommate?
I do. Frank Casey.
Very good. Okay, so you're at the Monroe, and there's a nervous-looking doorman. He opens the door and he says, what floor are you guys on?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot I'm meeting Frank. He didn't tell me what floor. I'm so sorry. Frank Casey?
Oh, okay. I'll ring him. We're not letting people up unless somebody comes down to meet you. Sorry, I'm new here.
Oh, okay. Let
Um,
him know that Vivian, I'm a friend of Melvin's.
okay. He rings up and you see him on the phone and he says he was expecting you. Alice said somebody'd be by. And he's like back on and he says you can come up. It's 4C.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And he asks you to sign the book.
I signed.
And you see
My name.
it's a new book.
Oh.
It's been maybe like 2 days of entries.
Oh. So this new thing.
Okay.
How nice.
He says I don't know, I just started a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay. They hire more help?
No, I'm the replacement.
Oh, the replacement. Lucky you. What happened to the man before or woman?
Oh, he died.
Oh no, I am so sorry to hear. I'm sorry for your company's loss.
Yeah, he from what I hear he was a great guy. It's and he's like walking you up.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking you over to the elevator. He goes, "I'm happy for the job. I'm just kind of not happy how I got it." From what everybody says, he was a real really stand-up sort of guy.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, well, a job's a job and you have to look on the bright side. Even though it was a tough situation, you're here now.
Thanks. All right. And he puts you in the elevator. He goes, "That's a 4C," and he kind of goes back to the desk. So you get up to the 4th floor and you find 4C, and the door is kind of ajar.
I'm still gonna knock.
Yeah.
You hear somebody yell, "Come on in!"
Georgie, you want to go in first?
Oh, yeah, why not? I'll push the door open.
Okay, you push the door open. You see a lovely looking apartment. Opens up into the living room. You see a well-dressed man. He's kind of sitting. He's got his foot up, and it's kind of all bandaged up, like looks like the ankle's been braced. He said, "You the private eye?"
Yeah,
The one
we're
Alice
associates
hired?
of his. Yeah.
All right, have a seat. I left the door open. It takes me a bit to get back and forth.
Yeah. Looking around, it's a nice place you got here.
Thanks. It's near work, so easy to get back and forth. Don't know how we're gonna afford the rent now that it's just me.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your friend just kind of up and leaving it on you.
Yeah, worried about him, to be honest. I'm not really sure what's gotten into him or what's going on. So I'm hoping that maybe you guys can help sort that out. I'll tell you whatever I can. But apparently, what he pulled with Alice, he pulled with me right after. Came home, said he couldn't stand being around me anymore. Said some real horrible things. And I just hurt my ankle at work. So I'm laid up. I mean, I'm a choreographer. So, my ankle being blown out, not a good thing, but doctor says nothing's broken. So I'm just laid up for a few. So, Alice is thinking maybe that I'm hurt and she's hurt. It kind of brought up all of this stuff from his childhood. I don't know. But the things he said, and stuff, the things he called me, no friend would ever do that. It's complicated.
Did he say some things that may be true, but not in such a nice way?
He roll a persuade.
I can't
Remember,
spend luck
we
points,
do
can I?
we do have luck that we can burn.
Oof. Okay.
Not
I
to the
am
point
willing.
that's going to undo 100 or a 98, but
I'm willing to spend 7 luck points on this.
okay. He says, "Look, I've always been honest with him from day one, and he never had a problem. Never had a problem with me, with the way I choose to live my life, and you know." For him to call me those things, I mean, it was just out of nowhere. I mean, you think, all right, I found a real stand-up friend who's going to stick by me. And for 8 years, I mean, we're like Robin and Little John, taking on the world, building our careers, living our freaking dreams on Broadway, for Christ's sake. Me, a kid from Newark. And he said, and then all of a sudden, he's just calling me hateful things. He smashed up 2 of my dolls, and he shows you, he like points over, and you see that there's a shelf of like collectible porcelain figures, and there's like gaps in it. And he says he knows I've been collecting those since I was a kid.
Oh. What two did he end up breaking?
He swung his cane at the whole shelf.
Yeah.
I don't think he was aiming for anything other than to hurt me. He knows what they mean to me. He started packing up his stuff, saying he was leaving. I was calling him on the crap. I mean, I said, look, this ain't like you. I don't know what's going on, but you got to talk to me. I mean, this is bullshit. And he went off and hit me in the gut with the cane. Knocked the wind out of me before I could stop him. I mean, yeah, never. One, that hurt less than the things he told me, the things he said to me, things he called me. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. He got in a cab. Leo called him a cab downstairs, and he was gone. I mean, he was gone before I could even get downstairs to, or call down to Leo to talk to him.
Is Leo the guy that we talked to on the way up?
No, that's Hank. He's a good
Hank.
kid.
So is it Leo's day off then now?
No, Leo died.
Leo died?
Yeah, he had a heart. Died a couple days ago.
He mentioned it briefly, as he said he was new. He said it was very tragic.
Yeah, he died in his sleep in the apartments downstairs. Leo was a live-in doorman, handyman, real stand-up guy. I mean, the building's not going to be the same without him.
And he was in good health, right?
Oh yeah, like an ox. Again, Leo is one of those people who didn't have a problem with anything, with anyone. And now he's gone. So there you are. They say he went in his sleep. Some kind of heart condition. I don't know.
So was there anything kind of strange, odd, little things that you might have noticed with a friend here before he kind of flew off the handle on you?
He was twitchy for a few days before. Hold on a sec. Couple days before I hurt my, I fell at work, and before Leo passed away, from what I hear, I wasn't in the building at the time, but Leo actually told me that Melvin had been accosted by a woman in the lobby.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently she was saying all sorts of crazy stuff. Leo said it was like she knew him, and she was just going on and on. And Melvin said he didn't know her. He'd never seen her before. And she wouldn't leave. And, Melvin went upstairs, and she just camped herself in the lobby. It was like causing a scene. They had to call the police, and they hauled her off.
And what day was this?
A few days before Leo died, I think. Leo passed away on is it like Monday? And it's like Thursday. So Leo was found dead on March 1st.
All right.
And he says, we building all put together a nice fund to buy him a bit in the evening world.
Oh, that's
really gonna miss that guy. Hank seems good, but he's got big shoes to fill.
Real quick, the accident was what, 3 days ago?
Hold on a second. I have to find my timeline of events. He goes, "Oh yeah, I fell down the stairs of the 26th."
26th, okay.
Yeah, strangest thing. I mean, I hit my head, went a little sideways, but they say my shoelaces were tied together.
Sounds like a string of bad luck.
Sounds almost like you're cursed.
I don't know. Nobody would do that. I mean, I was walking around for hours. I can't see how anybody would have tied my shoes together.
Mm.
Then the next day, that woman shows up. That's why I wasn't down in the lobby. I was holed up here.
Ah.
Melvin didn't want to talk about it. I had to find most of the details out from Leo. But he was acting twitchy since then. Shook up, sort of. It was weird. I'd never seen him like that.
Did he say anything at all about the woman?
Said he didn't know her. Never seen her before. But yeah, they had to have her arrested.
Yeah.
Before, tell me how you met Melvin in the first place.
Community theater.
The one here in New York?
Yeah, I was traveling around New England with a troupe. He was doing stage designs. Got to talking, he laughs and he said that, there's not a lot of, it's a small world. You wouldn't think it is, but theater people tend to know each other. I was a new choreographer. We ended up working in a couple of plays together, starting to talk about maybe we want to give it a shot, go to New York, see if we can break in. And so we pooled our money. Melvin fitted most of the initial bills. He'd come into some money, and we said, now's the time. He'd gotten some money from I think an inheritance, and he said, we've got the money. I've got the money. I'll put us up for a few months. We'll see if we can break in and make a go of it. I got hired right away. It took him a month, but then we were both working off Broadway.
Oh.
And for 8 years we've been building up. Now he's being scouted by Kaufman Studios and Paramount Pictures, and I'm on a Broadway production, assistant choreographer. We're doing great. Every sky's the limit for where we're going, and now I don't know. I just don't know.
And what about so you said it was inheritance that he had received, or
Yeah, he'd come into some money right when he turned 21.
or when he turned 20? Oh, okay, when he turned 21. And
Some trust somebody had left for him when he came of age.
Hmm. Did
I mean,
he
it
ever
wasn't a lot. It was enough to set us up in in a in a real rat hole of a room off Broadway. We moved into this place 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Now, what about the relationship between him and Alice?
It was like right out of a storybook,
Tell me more, please.
And he basically says that she saw past his limp and his cane, and they were the funniest couple.
Mm.
Him being so tall and her being so petite, and then with the mousy voice, just the cutest thing. She was up and coming, but she was really, when he met her, she was just kind of in the background chorus. Her star's been on the rise, and so was his. They were a great couple. He thought the world of her, and the things he told her about another woman. If there was another woman, I would have known. He's either at work with her, or he's here with me. I mean, he doesn't do much other than work, see his lady, and come home to sleep. I mean, that's the nature of the business when you're working major productions.
Of course. He ever mentioned any family members?
No, he doesn't have any family. Both of his parents passed away. Mom, when he was an infant, I don't think he even has a memory of her. And the father was traveling, working, I think.
Oh.
He doesn't really talk much about it. He grew up in institutions, ward of the state, all that.
Oh.
Talk about coming up from nothing. And he's it. Look, I think the world of him, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if him and I are ever going to be okay, but I don't want to see him throw his whole life away.
Of course.
So, I don't know what else I can tell you.
Did he take all of his things? May we see his room?
He shows you the room. He says he just packed one bag.
Is that all he had, or did he leave a bunch of stuff behind?
Oh, there's clothes here. There's books here. So there's stuff in the room. He basically cleared out the top 2 drawers of his dresser, threw them into a suitcase, a small suitcase, and just left.
Weird.
And he just told you the same thing, don't come looking for me.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, the things he said to me, it was pretty clear we weren't going to be friends anymore.
Did he tell you what to do with his things?
No.
No.
Like I said, I haven't even gotten that far yet. I'm not even I'm not even solid on 2 feet yet. It's a lot to take in all at once.
I don't really have a good spot in, but I'd like to take a look around.
Suit yourself.
I got a 7.
Oh, wow.
You
Well, you
don't.
got a lot better than me, but
You wasted a 7. Unfortunately, you don't find anything of note in the room. You do find lots of things he probably should have taken.
Okay.
But he left quick. It looks like he took essentials, like a couple of changes of clothes, undergarments, socks. It looked like just what he could grab.
Okay.
They have anything else for him?
I think I'm good. What about you, Georgie?
yeah. I think we got a couple of the little follow-ups that we can do, but I think we're good here.
All right, he says, well, you know where to find me if you need anything else. I'm going to be held up here for at least another week.
Do you need me to help you with anything before we leave? So you don't
No,
have to get up?
I'll manage.
Okay.
I've got I've got people I can call if I really need. I've got some great neighbors. Like I said, there are a lot of theater people here. I know a bunch of other, people in the building.
Tight community.
Right. All right. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You too.
All right. So, do we want to switch back to the hospital and see if you guys can make another attempt?
So Millie, if he was in an accident, then they would have brought him to the emergency room. Maybe we should see if we could find something down there. They didn't.
I kind of hate to distract people working in an emergency room.
Well, there's got to be somebody working at the admittance desk, right?
Make your make a luck check.
Oddly enough, yes.
Okay. Outside the emergency room, you find a nurse about 30, smoking a cigarette, kind of leaning, obviously on her break. Millie, you look over her, and she basically has the bearing of the head of the nursing staff. It's like you kind of just take. You can in your profession, you can kind of glance and who is an alpha and who is, she is the alpha nurse in the emergency room of Lenox Hospital. The kind of no-nonsense person that nothing misses there.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to her and say, 2 questions. One, would you like an extra pack of cigarettes?
She says, what brand was it? What are you smoking?
I have no idea what she's smoking, whatever people smoked,
Okay.
Back then, maybe Pall Mall, right?
All right. So what's your second question?
That guy they brought in, the one that was comatose and vanished, was there a weird smell about him by any chance?
She said, well, I'm going to have you roll. You're going to need a hard success on fast talk, persuade. However, you're going to try and get this. We're going to say persuade because you're not really lying. You're just trying to get her to talk about it.
I am not as good on persuade, oddly, as I am on fast talk. I was kind of hoping I could use pharmacy or medicine.
I'll allow credit rating.
Credit rating is at the very least better than persuade. Any odds I get a bonus die on account of the cigarettes?
I will give you a bonus die on the cigarettes.
I'm currently handing over the rest of my pack of cigarettes. Like he shakes one out and lights it and then gives her the other.
It's 2 10-sided dice I roll, not 2 10s, not 2 1s, right?
Correct.
Those would be non-Euclidean dice if they were one-sided.
Oh, there was a joke about that in the Dragon years ago. Sadly, my credit rating is 25, and I rolled a 33 even with the bonus die.
Do you want to burn luck?
You probably knew.
Or Harry, do you want to step in and try and persuade her as you're handing her your pack of cigarettes?
Sure.
You kind of see that she takes the pack. She's kind of giving Millie the side eye, so you know she's not she's not eager to talk.
Look, this is all completely off the record. I'm investigating a case. He shows his ID. Anything you could tell us would be we'd really appreciate it.
All right,
An off the record case.
Okay, I'm gonna allow the persuade roll.
All right. 66 out of 65. I'll spend a lot.
You need a hard success.
Oh fuck! I'm not spending 30 some luck.
All right, Millie, do you want to spend the luck points to make this roll?
Can I spend them on my roll, not his?
No, on your roll. I'll be on your roll.
Hang on. 33. So I'm spending what, 8 points? Yeah, I can afford to spend 8.
All right. She says we're not supposed to talk about it, but
this conversation never happened.
Okay. I know the cops are saying he walked out of here. There's no way he would have walked out of here. She says, I've seen my share of traumatic brain injuries. I was with the Red Cross in France.
Oh my God, says Millie, who has some idea of what that means.
Right. She says the amount of damage he took to his brain, it was amazing that he even got to the hospital. He probably wasn't going to last a week. And for the police say that he, walked out of here, that we kind of let him slip, that he wandered out of here, and that he was wandering around for a week?
No, not happening.
No way physically possible. And I've seen miracles. I mean, I've seen guys come back from nothing. There was not enough there. I mean, we didn't want to let his family see him.
Oh, geez, that bad?
When they say hit him in the head, we're talking the face, the head. It basically refers to him like a clock. The spring was winding down on him.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody talking about it because they're worried about a lawsuit. I don't know why someone smuggled him out. And I don't know how he wound up under a bus. None of it makes sense. All I can imagine is he was already dead when somebody pushed him in front of the bus. Because there's no way he was going to last a week outside of a hospital.
Well, I mean, the woman who was in that accident, she doesn't remember seeing him. She just remembers being pushed. And for all I know, some sick person could have shoved both of them in front of a bus for some sick reason.
Look, whatever it is, don't change the price of tea in China for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
This is my corner of the hospital. It didn't happen here. He didn't vanish from the emergency room. So at that point, I stopped caring.
I get you.
He never regained consciousness or nothing?
Not from what I heard. I mean, he came through here. I helped stabilize him. For the good it did. Basically just, ran up his hospital bill a few days before the, timer ran out on him. But that man was dead when the bricks hit him. His heart just hadn't stopped beating yet.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
He says, thanks for the cigarettes. And she checks her watch and she says, back to it. And
Good
she
luck.
heads back and tosses this. I don't. She probably smokes inside the hospital, so she probably takes a cigarette in with her.
She was just getting a breath of fresh air.
Okay, so I think we're good there.
So I mean, the hospital wouldn't lose him, right? I mean,
Look,
somebody had
in
to steal him,
in theory, any of it could happen. In practice, she wouldn't lose him. They wouldn't lose him. I mean, either he up and walked out on his own, or someone stole him. If someone stole him, that's really weird and disturbing. If he walked out on his own, that's a different weird and disturbing.
That's probably worse.
I mean, people
Look.
used to snatch bodies a long time ago, but that's not like this 1925. There ain't nobody snatching bodies now.
If someone was going to snatch the body who is a doctor, there wouldn't be a record of him coming in. They would have cleaned up that shit.
Yeah.
You make their way. I mean, why am I talking about this? The point is, they wouldn't have paperwork if they were making the body disappear. If it were other people making the body disappear, the body wouldn't come back. What she's not saying is ghouls. She's quite confident if ghouls were behind this, there wouldn't be a body.
Yeah.
So that leaves some very disturbed person setting up some little play, and hopefully that same person trying to drive Melville around the bend, and that's the best case scenario.
Okay, we're gonna say that at this point the group reconvenes at the office.
So probably convenes on, and that's the best case scenario.
Yeah. We stopped, and I got another carton of cigarettes along the way back. Yeah. So the hospital was interesting. The nurse there who saw him in the emergency room said he was all
Be right
but
back.
dead when they
Keep
brought him
talking.
in.
I can hear you.
Yep. So it doesn't seem likely that he walked out of there, which means either somebody snatched him, or if he walked out of there, there's something else going on.
What?
Well, you know all about the crazy occult stuff, right? I mean, that's your ballywick, right, Viv?
It is. Yes, it definitely is. I'm just surprised. You don't see it that often.
No, thank God for that. What did you guys find out? Anything?
Oh, not too much, but just that the Melvin had kind of turned sour a little bit. Looks like it had kind of been building up a little bit for a few days before he finally had his explosion. But he attacked Frank, and yeah, there was also a one of the. Was it the doorman
The
guy?
Doorman.
Yeah, he had died a few days earlier. Not sure if it has anything to do with it, but it looked like sounded like he was a pretty healthy guy that just kind of up and died of a heart attack in the middle of the night.
Huh.
A lot
So we got
of deaths.
two weird.
You're forgetting a major thing that happened before the death.
Oh no, we're not.
So we got two deaths, one possible reanimation, one major personality shift.
Well, could it be that, all right, so these guys they all work in the theater. Could this be some...
The construction worker didn't work in the theater.
Well, but maybe somebody's got a score to settle, and they've got a really wicked sense of humor, using a dead body to stage this accident.
I mean, that would be best case scenario.
We got to put it on the table, right?
Yeah, we also did learn a couple of little things about about Melvin's past too. So it sounded like he had come into a little bit of money from a trust fund or something like that.
I thought he didn't have no family.
A few years ago. I mean, not no more. Just because you're an orphan now, you still had to have been born from someone, right?
He also
a trust fund.
He had an interesting encounter with a local, someone who woman just came in there and I think started yelling at him.
Somebody that he knew?
Apparently not, according to his roommate.
Yeah, but trust me, there's a lot of people that I've gotten into arguments with that I'd rather not say that I knew. So
could be a woman, no?
Did she show up before or after the doorman died?
After. Oh no, before, because Leo had taken care of him. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So she shows up, the doorman mysteriously dies. This guy who's in the hospital, comatose and dying, suddenly gets up or is helped out of the hospital. And he and this woman wind up in front of a bus. And then her fiance has a weird personality shift. Wait, let me check those dates again. Yeah. Note I am still missing one key data point in character.
Okay.
So the 23rd is the construction site. This woman shows up the 27th. Leo died. Wait, no. The woman shows up the 27th. Then our client gets hit the 28th. Then, like a day or two later, Leo dies.
The attack on Alice was March 2nd.
Oh, the attack on Alice was March 2nd, was Leo dies. Okay, hang on a second.
Leo died on March 1st.
Leo dies on March 1st. Wait, he has the argument with his roommate before Leo died, right?
No. Melvin has his incident with Alice and Frank on the same day, which is March 3rd.
3rd. Okay.
2nd or 3rd, so.
No, you're right, the 3rd. So let me do this again. 23rd is construction site. 26th, though I don't know it yet, in character, roommate falls. 27, strange woman shows up and is arrested. The woman shows up and is arrested, right?
First is Leo.
Leo dies 1 March.
Bus accidents on the 2nd.
Comatose guy and our client under bus 2 March. And Melvin, is it? VIN?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin breaks ties 3 March. Okay.
And I imagine you're like sitting at the secretary's typewriter, like typing all this
Yeah,
stuff
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harry, it might be something good for you to check out, maybe with your copper buddies. That looks like they took the lady over to the station. She had kind of set up shop in the lobby, and they had to call the police to come and get her.
Oh yeah, if they took her downtown, I should be able to ring somebody up and see if I can't get some information about that. They probably let her go.
I mean, like, we're talking at this point, too many possibilities. Family curses, the other kind of curses, possession, just flying off the handle, and some kind of weird mob shit. Did I leave anything out?
Might also, there might be something in Melvin's past that he wasn't aware of. Maybe his maybe his parents are part of some kind of cult or something, and there's some curses hooked up with that. Maybe that's why all these people are dying around him now. Who knows?
I mean, trust fund, that could mean just about anything about one's family.
Yeah.
Millicent remembers a case a couple years back involving an Olympic hopeful.
Oh boy.
But if they had money to give them in a trust fund, why wouldn't they just take care of the kid then? Like, what's the point?
They were dead.
It wasn't a lot of money. It was just
Yeah, it
enough
was
for them
it was enough
get
for them to
settled.
get like a crappy apartment and all that kind of stuff.
It
fair
wasn't
enough.
something significant that you would, go out to dinner for. It was enough to get them by.
I mean, good news. I guess we can actually rule out the great race of youth.
Can we ever really?
Well, no, but I'm being hopeful here.
Okay, so I think it'd be helpful if we started to organize the threads we still have that you can look into, because you've got a lot of stuff that you can look at, and
The guy who drove the bus,
bus driver.
the co-workers, the police, and longer shot the co-workers. So I think bus driver and police.
Bus driver and police.
And the
Yeah.
construction site too, right? What happened at the construction site?
Oh, good point. Was it something that happens normally or something weird?
Right. Is that it?
I mean, there's others that are less likely to pan out, like what do the coworkers, in the Broadway show think about all of this? That sort of thing. But I think they're just going to tell us more of what we already know.
Yeah.
I mean, did he say where he was going when he packed his bag?
No, he
No.
packed up very quickly. He left a lot of
left
things.
a bunch
they
of
should
stuff
have taken.
behind.
Anything useful? Anything?
No.
All right.
So yeah, bus driver, police.
Okay, do you guys want to do one more scene, or do we want to stop here?
I have to get up at 6.
Okay, so
I'm a little fried.
all right, I think that this was a good first session.
Mhm.
Hopefully we got all the bad rolls out of the way. I mean, my God.
The 98 and
You've never
100.
played with us
Oscar,
before.
in one of your comments, you say, "Oh, come on! In order for this to do this to the party, they would all have to blow these rolls and then these rolls." Oscar, I present to you
Yes.
us.
The worst case scenario. All right, so do your closing, and then we'll chat for a minute or two.
Sure. All right. I want to thank everybody for checking this out. We have a Patreon up. If you want to throw a couple of shekels our way, that would be great. Do you guys have a Patreon, Oscar, or is it just a tip jar on the website?
Nope, it's just, tip jar on the website.
Hey, look, if you like these games that Oscar's running, we have a whole campaign for Cthulhu Invictus. I prefer that you throw money at the creator, so if you want to throw some cash over Oscar's way as well.
Can I hawk something?
Yeah.
We are having a special sale on the Eldritch New England holiday collection, so you can get your copy and start running the campaign, which begins with the expanded edition of Halloween in Dunwich in time for Halloween. We're selling the physical book for the physical digital combo price. So you get the PDF free with the physical book, and a free 8x10 with every order while supplies last. It's the 8x10 of the cover art.
And this is something you should be tweeting as well.
Yes. Well, I did tweet it.
Oh, I didn't see it. Shit. All right. I'll have to go
Sale's
look
been
for
going
this.
on for a week.
Oh, God damn it. All right. I have to go back and retweet it. All right, we do also have coffee for sale. A little bit of the money comes back to the show. If you enjoy a good cup of coffee, Birds of a Feather Coffee Company makes awesome, freshly roasted, small batch craft coffee roaster. Our own GM Neil, or sometimes GM Neil, has his own coffee business there. So we ask you to check that out as well. Even if you don't buy the Legendary Brew, there's a link in the show notes, or go to tinyurl.com/legendary brew to get that nice, easy drinking medium roast. Their other coffee blends are fantastic as well. It's the only coffee that I buy, or coffee if you're from New York, I guess, or northern New Jersey.
That was not good. That was not, no.
I think that's it. Likes, ratings, reviews on iTunes or whatever your podcatcher of choice is extremely helpful. Bumps up in the algorithms, just gets more people downloading the show, and then we get to share all of this fun and good times with you. So thanks again for checking it out.
Voids of a Feather Coffee.
There you go.
Buy some today.
I need you to. I don't even.
There's like that's so effortless. It's like I realize that it's the exaggerated New York, but it's like if I just didn't concentrate, that's how it would sound. Probably.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Bye. Stay safe.
Bye.